I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me? Test, test, test.
Yes.
I got all this electric stuff working, so I'm going to use it whether we need it or not. Sound like an old man.
I am an old man. Alrighty, thank you for coming out. It's been, what, over a year since we've had a meeting, right?
Yeah.
It's
close. February.
Was it February of last year?
Yep.
Holy cow. Well, I'm glad y'all remembered how to get here. Thank you for coming out on a cold, rainy day. We were going to do this downstairs, but I thought I'm more worried about pneumonia than I am COVID. Anyway, in the last year, do we have any new members that have not been sworn in that are here today? Apparently not. Any guests? Let's start with guests. You're not a guest, you're family. Max DeWeese, everyone. Max celebrated his 100th birthday.
All right.
Thanks for coming out.
Well, I was happy to do it.
I appreciate it.
You're only a day over 70.
Exactly. Well, 100's the new 80. So. I'm sorry, Jeff?
I have guest Lou Ramsey.
Lou Ramsey, naval air, flight engineer, 10 years, Korea.
Welcome. Fred?
Roger Christensen is ASP, and he's flown a P-51 as a rider.
That still beats me.
And anyway, we met him about a week before we closed down last year, so he's been waiting to get into here. And sorry, he did meet some of you at breakfast one day, but I had to twist his arm to come to meet the rest of you. So.
Okay. Well, you passed probation period. Anybody else? Any new people? People we haven't embarrassed before? Alrighty. We have no speaker today. I wasn't sure how well the meeting was going to be attended. I wasn't sure we were going to be able to do this with the weather. I'm glad we can all fit upstairs. It was just a little too chilly. Originally we planned on doing it downstairs with the doors open, but that just wasn't going to happen. So thanks for dragging yourselves out in the cold, rainy April day. Coming up though, Dave Dyer's not here today. He's a little under the weather. So hopefully in May, all this COVID everybody will be vaccinated. We'll be able to have a normal group of us up here, or maybe even downstairs if the weather's decent. But there have been too many of our friends and members that have passed in the last year and a half. Sean Wynn, is Sean here today? No. He's put together a montage video of all the friends and members that have passed. So Memorial Day happening in May. We're going to make May our Memorial Month. So we'll have a speaker and a video montage about that. Coming up this summer, Dave says we've got a dive bomber tail gunner, an SBD, guy who flew SBDs in World War II, dive bomber gunner. June, I don't know if everyone knows, Burt Madison passed, member. He's one of our longtime members who passed. His birthday's in June. We're going to have a birthday celebration, even though he'll only be there in spirit. And some others who we didn't get to acknowledge their birthday this year. But Max, by the way, Max. Our own John Wittenborn. We're going to have a show and tell and embarrass him with a Patriot feature come probably July. August. Normally we do Purple Heart Month in February. Tie in with Valentine's, we didn't get to do that, so Dave says, how about we do that in August? I said, that's fine with me. So there's a whole lot more coming up this summer. We're going to hit the ground running. Yes, sir?
May 15th is Armed Forces Day. It will be held at the hangar, main hangar here at New Century.
It's over at like Signature, right?
Yeah.
Like on the southwest corner, a whole opposite end of the airport.
And I just was talking to Dave, and I suggested it might be a good day to get the Cessna out and make a little money.
Well, assuming the weather's decent, every day's a good day to
Well,
make money.
they hope to have around 5,000 people.
Wow, that's gonna be a crowd. Well, that's cool, May 15th,
May 15th.
which is Armed
Saturday.
Forces Day. And it's also our meeting day, is it not?
Yep.
Right.
Okay,
Oh, is it? Wow.
so third Saturday of the month?
Yeah, that
in
would be
May.
15th, that day.
Just plan on being out here doing something.
There's a lot of activity going on. Conflicts.
Say again?
A conflict, so.
It's like destiny, isn't it? Alrighty, speaking of getting the Stearman out and flying and telling rides, we're just doing what we do. We use cotton rags to clean the Stearman off. When you fly it for an hour, there's an hour's worth of oil spread everywhere and bugs and dirt. And Jerry Sladish, there he is in the back room, crew chief, has asked me to ask everyone, if you've got any old kitchen towels, bath towels, cotton, t-shirts, something like that, we need rags to wipe the airplane down, wipe the oil up. So if you can bring them out, anytime you want to bring them out, leave them on the kitchen counter, or we'll try and get a box set up for donations. But we're desperately in need of cleaning rags.
I don't think it's a good idea to leave on the kitchen counter.
Okay, never mind. Her spy is up here even though she's downstairs. Don't leave them on the kitchen counter. We'll get a big box set up downstairs for donations of kitchen towels and airplane cleaning rags.
So would old t-shirts work?
Well, t-shirts will work, wouldn't they?
Sure.
That's what,
Mostly you don't want anything that's scratchy or, got sequins or glitter or something on that, which leaves me out, so.
What about printing?
I don't think printing will hurt it, will it? It depends on what the printing is. You know, if the paint
Just like
is,
letters and
if it's paint where it's scratchy, probably not. If it's just a,
like that silk screen.
yeah, I think
Okay.
it might be. And if not, we can use it to mop up oil on the floor then.
Okay.
So any kind of cotton rags or cloths or towels or something would be great. Speaking of cleaning airplanes, look for an email announcement coming up. Part of our rent for the ground here is that we clean the airplanes out in the Navy Park. And I'm expecting to be able to do that in May this year. So probably toward the later half to make sure that it's warm enough out. The Navy League has volunteered to help us do that. So we may be touching up paint, and I don't know if there's anything broken on it. The left side of that Skyhawk rudder is really badly peeled. So we're gonna repaint that at the very least. But look for announcements on that. And we'll go into staff reports here. Speaking of upcoming events, is Linda up here? There she is in the middle. XO Linda Sladish is gonna start doing open hangar days. And you
Yep.
wanna-
I'm gonna, I'll go over here. I'm gonna start doing open hangar days, and that requires people to be here to set up at around 8:30 on that open hangar day Saturday morning. Now, we've had several people, Jim Hathcote for one, who has been consistently here working for open hangar days, and we burn him out, okay? We need lots of people, at least 10 people to come, move stuff around in the morning. Don't have to stay all day. You might want to come back in the evening to help, or, at the end of the afternoon and put stuff away. But we make a significant amount of our income from open hangar days. And Beth and Janet do the food, and we make a lot of money from the food. But we all have to have someone there to put it all together. So I'm going to ask that anyone who can come in the morning at 8:30, besides the 10 people that normally are there all the time, to please try and do it. I'm not going to ask for every open hangar day. If you can just donate one open hangar day time during the whole summer, we've got enough people that maybe, those people that are consistently volunteering don't get burned out. So that is my request, is to really try and come and volunteer for just one day. Just one day.
And there's all kinds of jobs. We
Yes.
usually cook hot dogs on the grill. That's not rocket science, it's easy.
Exactly,
We need
and
help
it's just
parking
setup.
cars, we need people to stand out here just to keep the public from going out on the runways.
Right.
Blow up the air balloons.
Blow up the balloons.
Well, yeah,
Put
you
out
know,
the
so
toys, pick up the toys.
it's not like it's a real hard thing. You don't have to do the whole day. What we really want is AM and mid-afternoon. Yes, Bob?
When does this begin and what day of the month are we doing it this year?
We're doing it on the same day of the month,
First day?
First
first
Saturday
Saturday of the
month.
month. We're gonna start in June,
Okay.
give it a shot. Debbie is gonna do Pet Palooza. I have talked with some Jeff Bartle?
There he is, to your left.
Yeah. He's gonna try to bring some of his memorabilia out, plus maybe some Jeeps. So between those two and just trying to get everything together, we're gonna do a dry run in June. And I believe in July, we will not be able to do it. We're still iffy about that. I've heard, no, we can't be here when is it Blue Angels? Excuse me.
Yeah, I think it's the Blue Angels.
Blue Angels.
Okay, when the Blue Angels are gonna be here, we can't be here. But then I've heard if they're not flying, we can. So whatever it turns out to be, maybe, and that's July 4th, isn't it?
July 4th weekend.
Yeah, maybe we'll be here, maybe we don't. But June's gonna be a dry run to see how, you know, just to get ourselves a feeling again
See
on.
what the COVID
getting
crowd is
there.
like, see if we can, and
Exactly.
it's a fundraiser, but it's also a big part of our community outreach. That's how people realize we're out here. Families come out, they love looking at the airplanes, playing with the simulators, watching the steermen fly if we happen to sell rides. So it's an important fundraiser, yes, but it's also very important as far as our community outreach and the things that we do. We're not just here to make money, obviously, because we're not making any money. But our mission of honoring America's military aviation history and our veterans, that's a big part of how we do that, the open hangar days every summer. So if you can come out and volunteer, just stand around and explain, you know, we need someone up here in the museum to keep the little kids from playing with the exhibits, as well as explaining Korea, World War II, Vietnam, and here's the restroom. That's a big deal too. So.
And Richard Schroeder does a good job of that.
He is.
Where's Richard?
But he's only one man.
Yeah, he's only one man. But just like I said, if you can give an hour, 2 hours, the whole day if you want, just a little bit of time so that we can
And it's fun.
associate with everybody. Okay? Thank you.
Anything else, XO? That's it?
No, that's it.
Adjutant? Any news, requests? Has everyone signed a hold harmless once a year?
I don't know if everybody has, I haven't compared it to the roster, I'll get that done.
Okay, if you have not, we are required once a year to sign a hold harmless agreement to be out here at the CAF. Just one of the regulations that they have, the insurance company likes to hear
Just
that.
to add to something for the Saturday, the open houses, don't forget dog tags.
Dog tag machine. We need 2 or 3 people at a time, and that's fun, making dog tags.
And we make a lot of money.
And we make a lot of money, but we need someone to help the people fill out the form. We need someone to
Put them
usually
together.
it's Jack running the machine, but someone to give Jack a break once in a while. Alrighty. Speaking of making money and all that, our financial officer is here. And if our computer works, we even have a slideshow.
We ran off with the money.
We are 20th century here, baby.
Yeah. Let me give you my pen.
Is that
I'll
it?
give you- I'll give you-
That's it?
I'll get you. Oh, thank you, sir. I'll give you my cell phone number.
Was go through month by month, every month since COVID hit, but he said no, he wanted people to come back. So just, this is gonna be a real quick, since we haven't gone over finances for a year. I'm gonna hit on a couple of highlights. See if we can do this. Start a slideshow.
Usually down to the right.
There it is. Okay, revenue expenses. So what I do is just a quick update on what happened in 2020 and where we're at in 2021. Revenue. As you might expect, we got killed on revenue last year. We were down 45% from 2019 to 2020. If we look at where we're at so far this year, we're down another 28.5% into 2021. But then again, we had this the first time we've all gotten together. What's a little scary on that, maybe a little misleading, we have had a really good results with our investment accounts. So about a third of our revenue so far this year is unrealized gains. It's paper, it's not real. So, a little bit tight on that. On the plus side, our expenses were also down. So we were down about 18% from 2019 to 2020. And right now, we're about flat 2021 versus 2020. So, what does that boil down to? Net income was down 120% from 19 to 20. We had about a $25,000 profit, which you're not allowed to do in a nonprofit, but we had $25,000 in retained earnings in 2019. We lost $5,400 last year. All things considered, I don't see that as being too terribly bad. So far this year, we're showing about a $5,000 deficit. That's also a little bit skewed because a lot of our expenses are weighed very heavily in first quarter. So we did a bunch of payouts in the first quarter, so it won't be quite so bad going for the rest of the year. From an asset perspective, the investment accounts are up 23.5%, which is great. I don't know what they're doing in Dallas, but I hope they can keep doing it, and I hope the market doesn't tank. It will, but it won't, hopefully not with our accounts. Our operating accounts are down about 31%, but that's no income, relatively flat expenses. But our cash position, we're net down 1.5%. So all things considered, we're hanging steady. And if you took a look at our overall assets, we're down about 4%, but a lot of that's because of depreciation. It doesn't really affect us. That's for the IRS. And then one other thing, we don't show the airplane accounts on the wings books. That's accounted for in Dallas. But we are up about $6,000 on the aircraft accounts because of the 12 planes of Christmas. We had a nice set of donations for that, and we actually spent a fair amount of money out of the PT-19 account between what we did for with Atlanta and some expenses that we still have to pay for the 19, even though it's in pieces. It's amazing you still have to pay insurance for that thing. What state? Because it's all over the place. So overall, we've treaded water for 12 months. We're not up, we're not horribly down, and I'll put the word out, any help that anyone wants to provide, greatly appreciated. If you have a rich uncle, a rich nephew, a rich anything that wants to give us a big chunk of money, oh, please put them in touch with us. That's all I have.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Because the PT-19 is not flying, I was surprised with my airplanes. I'm in Bozeman and then here. So when I'm in Bozeman, I put them into storage and I take them off flying. I used to put them in not flying, but storage was even cheaper. So
there are different insurances that we pay for the airplanes through Dallas. We do get a pretty big break on one of them because it is not flying.
Okay.
But like ANUAC, the worst word in the CAF,
it's still there.
we still have to pay full boat on ANUAC and things like that. So
that?
yeah, we do get a break on one because the steerman, and I don't have the exact number, we're paying $3,000 a year for that one, and for the 19 we're paying like $500 a year. Yes, sir.
Well, where does the roof repair, does it figure in any of this? Would that have, in other words, you had a good year with revenue when we're doing the roof, and the next year would drop, but is the roof kept separate on these accounts?
The roof was kept separate, and actually, we didn't show the roof as an expense, it was capitalized.
Yeah.
And that ended up, when I mentioned about the depreciation for 2020, we depreciated a chunk of the roof in 2020, so that part shows the expense, but yeah, that was a capital expense.
Okay, thank you.
Has the roof been paid for?
Yeah. Yeah, roof is paid for.
Thanks to all who donated
Yeah.
and contributed to the roof fund.
Yeah, we had, and again, that was long enough ago, we collected about 85% of what we needed to cover the roof. So, and we were able to cover the rest. We had been paying for some PT-19 things for years just out of our expenses. I went back and we borrowed some money from the PT-19 account to cover the cash flow, and then we went back and looked and said, gee, we spent this for the 19 out of our money, and this, and this, and this, and we were able to work with Dallas, and they said, yeah, that would come out of the 19 account, because it was annuac for the last couple of years, and insurance for so many years, and this that we had covered and didn't take out of the account. So we've been able to work out that from a cash flow perspective, okay.
Hey,
You
Tom,
said,
explain,
a lot of it's, oh, go ahead.
explain what annuac is for people who may not know.
Annuac is,
John, where do you want to cover this?
annuac is a thorn in our side. Oh, no, that's not what so if you take all of the overhead from the CAF, what they do is they take all of their overhead and they basically divvy it up to everybody. And it's done by unit, it's done by aircraft, it's done by a lot of different things. So it's basically, it's covering overhead for Dallas. I mean, that's the simplest way I can explain
It's
it.
the annual unit accounting charge.
Yeah.
Because we are just a chapter of a huge organization, they pay a big chunk of insurance. They pay for our 501c3 tax exempt status. All those accountants don't come cheap. The lawyers, they keep everything. So like he said, they divvy it up among the 70 different CF units and airplanes, and our share of that comes out to.
Yeah, it's between the airplanes and the unit, we get it for both. Yeah, I don't have the number right off the top of my head, but it's like $4,500 a year. Due in the first quarter, right after the first year, so it's like, oh, crap. Wait a minute, we have Darren first, and then I'll get to you.
So you said the expenses are up front, so that means as things open up and we start generating revenue, that will make this year get better.
It should, yes, it should.
Did you mention the 12 Planes of Christmas campaign, the donations through that?
Yeah, and I'd have to go back and get the exact amount, because again, I was working on this last night. But I think we ended up with about $7,800.
Yeah, really good this year.
Thank you, everyone that donated and everyone that told someone you knew to donate. The PT-19 was the airplane we put in the campaign this year, and the gross about $7,800.
Yeah.
The really neat thing is we had people who had nothing to do with our wing who donated, and also some people who didn't even live in the United States donated, which was pretty interesting.
The last donation we got was from a woman from Florida who said, I love it, here's money, and I hope I can make a trip to Kansas to take a ride.
Wow.
And that was like a month ago.
Hey, the 12 Planes of Christmas campaign apparently is still going on. The farthest, we had a donation from someone in France. We had a couple from the UK. I think one was England and one was Scotland. And I mean, I was shocked, and we gave away, for those that don't know, we had little premium gifts. If you donated $250 to the account, you got a ride certificate when the airplane's flying again, and a baseball cap and a challenge coin. And it costs like $20 to mail a baseball cap to the UK. So I was happy to do it. We mailed out 3 of them. The French guy is curious. There's a CF wing in France, and I just assumed they like PT-19, so that was awesome.
Any other questions? For my pilot friends, That means I have a good attitude, and if I go like that, it means my vacuum pump failed.
Thank you, professional juggler, finance officer.
Hey, Brian,
Yes, ma'am.
I've got to go downstairs, but I just wanted to mention, for Jack, that for those of you who don't have one, we are able to order these name tags. If you're interested in one, it has the logo for the wing and then your name however you want it.
Is it Mesmer here? He ordered one and...
It's been laying in our dresser drawer for a year.
Longer than that.
So anyway, it's $15 up front. So see Jack sitting on the sofa back there if you're interested in
Wave your
ordering
arms,
one.
Jack.
Yeah.
There he is.
I'll set up here for a few minutes after the meeting, and if you wanna come by, I'll need something. I need something to ride on. I didn't bring my book with me.
It's pretty
And
fun.
And it's, my policy is, in God we trust, everybody else pays cash or check.
In advance. And just to piggyback on Tom's finance report, thank you everyone that paid your dues this year. I assume everyone in the room has paid your dues this year. Even though we're not having, I have a few people say, why should I pay? We're not doing anything. It's because we still have to pay the insurance. The electric bill, even when we turn everything down, we're still paying electricity, we're still paying utilities. And even though it seems like there's nothing going on, they're still expensive. So thank you all very much for keeping up with that. Broken water pipes, thank you. Who was it? I'm gonna leave somebody out. Fred was out here, Jim Bond.
Bill?
Who?
Bill?
Phil was out here, and who was the handyman guy that, oh, there he is over there. Thank you, waving your hands. For those that don't know, we had, when it got down below zero, one of the water pipes in the north wall broke, and Jim Bond, safety officer, jumped on that, and everybody came out and fixed it, and I appreciate that. Everything should be up and running and good. If you see a water leak, let me know, though, because we're paying for that water, and I don't want to waste it. All right, enough finances. Operations, are you up here? You want to talk about what's coming up?
Sure. As far as finances, even last year, we came pretty close to, we got weathered out of two big air shows last year. One was in Oklahoma and one was way out in western Kansas that we just could not attend. Had we been able to have made those shows, the weather was great once you got there. We just couldn't cross all the IFR weather to get there. That would have helped our financial picture last year as well. The Stearman is just coming out of annual. I don't think there's anything that's too scary about it, other than just it's cleaner now and it's going to be put back together. We have 7 events already on the books to attend this next year, maybe. On May 8th, Garnett, Kansas, having a fly-in. We've been invited down there. We can display planes or sell rides. It depends on the weather and the winds. May 28th to the 31st, Wings over St. Louis. St. Louis, Missouri Wing is hosting, and they're flying again this year over Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be at Spirit of St. Louis Airport, and we're invited to bring whatever we can out there to that. The end of June, 25th to the 27th, is Thunder Over the Heartland, Forbes Field, Topeka. There's going to be a big flying air show there. July 3rd through the 5th is the Kansas City Air Show, right here. And is it the Blue Angels will be in here?
Blue Angels this year.
So that's our participation is to be determined. We'll probably have at least static display. If we could sell rides, they said we may be able to, before and after the waivered airspace, get to play. It depends on where they park us and how accessible the airplane is. July 17th, Atchison, Kansas, Amelia Earhart Festival. They're going to try to have a show up there. August 30th through September 8th. It's a long time. The Made in the Shade B-25 from the Arizona Air Base is going to be in Springfield, Missouri. We have been invited down there to kind of piggyback onto their appearance and sell rides in the Stearman if we are able to. That's to be determined. September 16th to the 19th, we've been invited, they're paying us to bring a couple airplanes out to Great Bend, Kansas for their air show. So, and we can sell rides out there in between the, you know, before and after their Wayward show. So, pretty good for, you know, we'll see, and of course, all this is tentative, we'll see what happens with the weather and the virus and everybody's fears, so. But I think if half of this comes to pass, we should be, hopefully keep the expenses of the airplanes in the black, maybe. So, but, anybody got any questions about anything? Yes, sir.
Who's actually heading up and running the air show here?
I don't know.
Who's
Not
leading
us.
that charge?
There's a corporation that runs, it's the same people who ran the downtown air show. Third hand, what I have heard is the military has new safety requirements. And for the Blue Angels and Thunderbirds, they need a 7,000-foot runway. There's two of them in the Kansas City area. One's at KCI and one's out here. Downtown airport apparently is not quite big enough for the new regulations. So the, and I can't remember the exact name of the company, but it's called Kansas City Downtown Air Show Company. They're planning on moving the show out here forever if it works. So, yeah, but it's not us, it's not the airport commission. We'll be fielding phone calls about it, I'm sure, but it's a private organization.
Yeah, the good news about that is it's gonna be on our backyard. The bad news is we're not gonna be able to occupy the hangar that day. Because it's in the waiver, it's under the box, and the
Can't
waiver
even be in the
airspace and
hang,
safety
can't even be over
regulations.
here.
No, when the Thunderbird, when the air show's going on, this has to be a sterilized area just in case something crashes. So all the tenants of the hangars, their advanced next door, Butler, all them, will all have to vacate this side of the airport.
So what if one were to spend the night here?
Well, actually, talking to Kerry Floyd, the guy in charge of it, he said, you know, it's sterilized during the show, but the show doesn't start till like 12:30 and runs till 3:30. He said, except for those times, you can probably open, because I said, could we have our museum open, or could we
So
do?
it's just during the flying?
During the actual flying
When the
portion.
waiver is active.
Although we'll have to
Okay.
figure out some way of guaranteeing that this area is
Everybody's
empty.
out.
How do you get people in here?
Right.
Chase people out after they computers are over quickly.
Well, it's the same deal every time we have an Air
Then you have a
Expo,
riot on your hands.
and everybody goes over to Advance to check on their airplane, and then,
Well, and then that, you know, wanting to park to watch the show, and that, I'm sure there's gonna be a gate, so that's gonna be interesting.
not my
But,
problem, no, we don't do parking this year.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
enjoying the air show already, because we're not in charge of parking. Yes, sir.
Did I understand you that during the air show that we had to have the aircraft out of the hangar?
No, the people out of the hangar.
The people out of the
No
hangar.
people can be over here, they don't care if we destroy property, but they don't want
We're
any-
hoping to be able to have a tent and a presence and the steerman over there as a display, and then maybe be selling, you know, the ride opportunities from there to, if we could get the, and this, it's a similar situation at Great Bend. When you have an airplane that's going to be giving rides, you have to have a sterile area for the airplane to just turn the prop. Well, how do you get the airplane there, and so there's the logistics thing that's yet to be figured out on the show here. So,
Detail.
but if nothing else, we can sell them, you know, come back next weekend or come back Wednesday or something like that.
Do you know where they're gonna have all the vendors and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's all gonna be the other side of the airport.
Where at? I mean, there's not.
All
Well,
of
that
it.
west ramp, starting a little bit north of where the control tower is, going all the way down south of Signature.
I'm thinking, yeah, the whole entire side is probably gonna be quite a length of, I mean, if they have as many people there as they've had downtown, it's gonna occupy, I don't know where they're all gonna park, how they're gonna do that.
They're tentatively thinking the Great Mall, what used to be the parking lot over there, and they're gonna bus them from there.
Busing again?
Again, I am so happy I'm not in charge of that.
Yep.
But, we can be over there, the Red Tail trailer, Red Tail Tuskegee Airman display is planning on being here. Bob Brogdon, Pontiac, not Pontiac anymore, but auto dealer is sponsoring that, and then the Red Tail P-51 is supposed to be here. Whether it's flying or not, I do not know. So I said, can we put our little 10x10 pop-up next to that? And again, Kerry Floyd said, sure, but that was 6 months ago.
There's also a big air show in St. Joe, May 1st, is that right?
First and second.
Thunderbirds
Yes.
are up there, so I've seen very little of that advertised.
The general admission tickets are free, but you do have to have a ticket to get in.
You had register
To
online.
Rosecrans, yes.
Yep.
Yep, and there's other tickets you can buy that are 30,
VIP
40.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is a, so far, it's a go, so. Mhm.
Whatever, yeah, I've got 40 barrels of smoke glow coming.
Well, if you got any left over.
We're not gonna be involved in the May 15th activity. Yeah,
No,
that's by
no,
the fish.
no.
And that's on the same ramp area that the air show.
As I understand it, it's like the
Owned by
opposite
Signature.
corner of the airport, or the
Mhm.
west side of the airport.
That's a meeting day.
Yeah.
Of course, anyway, so,
Meeting day.
yeah, now there's several members that will have their military vehicles over there, from what I understand.
Well, that's MVPA.
Yeah, yeah, so,
CAP will have their aircraft.
yep.
Okay. We were not invited and
Deb, do you have a question?
No, I was
Okay.
just gonna talk about the parking that's going to be provided from
Oh, okay.
shuttle parking for the air show in July.
you know more than I do.
Yeah,
Stand
well,
up and let 'em know.
they're providing shuttle parking from, I'm gonna say the hangar, the Garmin hangar there, and you mentioned the Great Mall, I'm not sure about that,
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
but there's parking that will be available off-site and you'll be transported in.
From Garmin over to 151st and Ridgeview?
That's what I understood, but I'm not totally 100% on that.
Garmin has an operation. right
Yeah,
out there on the west
headquarters.
side.
Yeah, but they've only got about
You're gonna-
50 parking spaces.
They're gonna be sterilized over there though, won't they?
No, that side of the field will be fine. From the runway this way, it'll be sterilized.
Oh,
And the runway that way should be, that's where the crowd's gonna be.
So the runway establishes the crowd line?
1,500 feet that side of the
East
runway.
is east of the runway there.
Yeah.
I have an ignorant question, because I don't know about all wheels and everything. Is this, can we be here while we're practicing like Thursday and Friday?
No.
Can we be at the hangar here?
Good question. That's
That'd be
a,
fantastic.
Yeah, which
I'm not
makes
sure
me
what
think
they're,
probably not, but-
my guess is probably not.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
However, will we have a hangar cleaning party? If so, Thursday. We're gonna test all the folding chairs, make sure they work on the west side.
Find out about that, that'd be great, boy, that'd be fun.
I don't know, we have to check it out.
That's a good question.
I imagine they'll make us clear out.
I would, if, when they're practicing, I think they pretty much have to have a waivered area, and all the rules would apply.
Okay.
So my guess is, I don't know for sure, but my guess is, don't count on it.
You think perimeter roads will still be open, or will they shut down the perimeter roads?
Another good question. Who knows?
Because there's a couple roads.
Yep, I know. There's a lot of good viewing points to the.
I would say there'll be,
Cops at the intersection, stop light.
there'll be highway patrol guys all over there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're closed for 3 hours, guys, going.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
Brian, going back to the May 15th, that's from 10 to 4.
Okay.
The AD, and they've, I heard Thursday, that they're having the Special Forces skydiving team. That's been confirmed.
Skydiving or just showing up?
No, it said skydiving.
Okay.
Jumping.
Okay. Again,
Uh,
website is friendsandserviceofheroes.org.
Fish.
Yeah, it's fish, but it's
Fish.
spelled out, so you
Fish
gotta
and service.
easily
Friends
type
and
it.
Service of Heroes.
Right. Their website, I imagine you can find more information. And I will say too, when Bob talks about going to St. Louis or we're going to, doing it, you don't have to be a pilot, you don't have to be a ground crew. We always need people to stand by the airplane, talk to the public. Education's our mission. So tell them who the CAF is, talk about military history. If you don't know anything about military history, we'll tell you and you can tell them. And it's a fun time. Going to St. Louis, those guys love us, coming the St. Louis wing loves us coming over there. We all get it. It's on you. You gotta buy your own hotel room.
Yeah,
Just standing on the ramp all day long, watching airplanes. If somebody wants a ride, say, here's a ride desk. We're helping, spell the ride. You don't have to be a pilot or a mechanic or a ground crew or whatever to come participate. In fact, the more the merrier.
The event in Great Bend is just about the same distance as it is to St. Louis. In fact, it's actually slightly closer. And there will probably be some ground crews driving out. we'll just have to wait and see as the time gets here. But anybody's welcome to go. It's just that in light of the way things are, these, like St. Louis isn't paying us a nickel. They've done so many favors for us in bringing the beach, you know, they're big, heavy, expensive iron here that we just go over there, and we've done very well selling rides with the Stearman. Great Bend is actually paying for 2 airplanes to go out there. You know, and if we don't sell any rides, that's, at least we've got most of the gas money paid to coming back. So it's, the way things have been, as far as, there's a lot of people that want us to fly for them, for their charity, and I try to explain to them that we are a charity ourselves, and that these planes don't fly for free. And so keeping that in mind is that we're all volunteers to support the cause. And so if you want to, anybody's welcome to go to any of these events and participate in any way, shape, or form.
Might get into Petroleum Club out there while you're there.
Where's that at, Great Bend?
Great Bend.
Yeah, and the poor farmers too.
Hey, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Just an additional thing on St. Louis, if you're really interested in going, we blocked 6 rooms over there, but we'll have more people than that to go. And if you're interested in going, we've negotiated a special rate for our organization, and it's a considerable discount. So there's a phone number that you can call, and if you're interested, give any of us, myself included, a call, and I can connect you with that person, the manager at the hotel. Also, when you make a reservation, you'll notice that the quoted rate is different than the receipt that you'll get for your room reservation on your email. The difference there is that the tax on that room is refunded after you check out.
Oh.
Since we're a
So
501c3.
don't let the receipt that you get in the email
Frighten you.
that's the-
Part of the advantage of volunteering for a 501c3 is
That's exactly right.
you're donating money to it. I guess technically speaking, that hotel bill would be tax deductible.
If you're
Talk to your,
yeah.
talk to your personal CPA and stuff.
Yeah, do we cheat them and how is how it's.
Stretch.
That's
a
stretch. Most of
Give it a try.
these events are one-day events, except like Topeka, if that's not too far to commute from home. But normally we stay there. Amelia Earhart's can be a one-day thing up and back. Springfield, we got to figure out how that's going to work out. And Great Bend, I can find out where the some rooms are provided for the pilots, standard negotiation, and can find out where they're going to be staying, and maybe get some piggyback some rooms on that if you're interested. But a lot of the details for these shows farther out or will be forthcoming. So check your inbox. So, any other
It's a good
questions?
time. We have fun out at the airport, and then in the evening, we usually go to some restaurant or something, or hang out in the hotel.
And there's usually, you know, you're rubbing elbows with other air crews from around the country and swapping stories and seeing their cool airplanes and seeing how they, you know, getting ideas on how they make things work. It's fun. I know I've been to many an event with these 2 guys right here that have been a lot of fun going out of town. So
The ones he remembers. It's kind of fuzzy, but it was a good time, I think.
So anyway, no other questions. If you got any other questions, think of it, just see me after the meeting.
And I will say, if we get enough people that need rides, normally we take the Suburban out, we can carry 8 people, I guess, technically speaking, in that. And we throw in tables and chairs and all that. So if you need a ride, we can find you a ride. Maintenance was not here today, correct? The update for maintenance, as Bob said, the Stearman is in the final stages of getting its annual done. The PT-19, for those that don't know, our wings are down in Atlanta, now Air Base Atlanta, Air Base Georgia, used to be the Dixie wing. They are gluing the final skins on the right wing, almost done with that. So they're gonna cover it with fabric and paint it silver, and then we're gonna bring it home here, probably at the same time take the center section that's down in the hangar down there for them to work on. So they're almost done with the right wing. They're gonna start in on the left wing and knock on wood to the center section. They've been hit by this COVID thing repeatedly Georgia or Atlanta keeps having these spikes, and they have to shut down completely for a month or two, and then they open up a little bit, and they shut down again. So 2020 was worse for them than it is for us. I've never been so happy to not have a P-51 to pay for. They had no ride revenue last year at all, and their airplanes cost a lot of money to maintain. But anyway, so the PT-19, the fuselage, Steve, there's some little welding things need to be done on it. He thinks that's going to be home here in the next month or so, so it'll be down in the shop, and maybe start putting parts on that. We'll need volunteers to help stand and file or stand around and criticize. We'll let you know as that comes on. So the body should be back. One of the wings should be back. The center section should be gone, and I think we're going to make progress this summer. Okay, that was safety. Jim went to the lake today, so I hope he's just freezing to death down there. But he asked me the tug training. For those that don't know, last week or week before, we have a airplane tug tractor, and then we've got the forklift, and we use them to move things around. But also when we have an event like open hangar day or a dance or something, we just need to move them out of the hangar, get them out of the way. So we want to get as many people as we can trained on how to drive those things, so that you're not necessarily lifting something with a forklift and you're not tugging an airplane, but it's just, hey, can you go over there and move the tug out of the way so Debbie can set up the rescue dog thing. Jim said in the next week or two he's hoping to reschedule that depending on the weather. So look for an email on that, and it'll be probably some Saturday morning. And it's not hard, it's just a tractor and it's just a forklift, but we'd like everyone to be trained on it so that we're doing it safely. We're big into safety right now.
I think he had tentatively rescheduled stuff for the 24th
of April?
this month. Yeah.
Okay, so next
coming up
weekend.
the week after next.
I will talk to him and look for an email in your inbox.
Or next weekend. Yeah, it's next weekend.
Yeah.
It's next weekend.
So, as I said, it's not necessarily forklifting things, it's not tugging airplanes, it's just helping us rearrange the hangar for our dances and events and
I think
whatever.
that safety.
Our roof, oh, go ahead.
Safety thing. One thing that's, year and a half ago, the Collins Foundation, B-17, went down in where was it? Connecticut. And there were lives lost, a lot of injuries. Now there's 1 million lawsuits. And the FAA's got egg on their face, and the NTSB just released their final, their final findings of what the cause and all the effects and everything. And there is, if you go to the CAF web page and look up the Safety Management System, SMS, what this has done, there was some alleged neglect on the Collins Foundation, the pilot, their maintenance, the FAA oversight they were stunned a little bit. So you can expect knee-jerk reactions anytime we go to any air show anywhere that the FAA is going to be out in spades to try to check, all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. It really is the safety management system. If you go to the CAF webpage and look this up, it's a short little synopsis of what it is, and it has much more to do than just the maintenance of the airplane. It's how we conduct ourselves up here, safely getting up and down the stairs. We've got the elevator for those. There's just, around moving props, around in the hangar, greasy floors. There's just so many things to look at that it's beyond just selling rides and flying in airplanes. It's the whole mantra of the being around this hangar. There's slippery, sharp things everywhere, so you just got to be aware of it. So you can expect to hear much about that in the months to come. It's every warbird, every other ride. I mean, the EAA. It's not just CAF. Everybody that does anything that their name isn't American or United or anything they're under the gun. Everybody's under the gun for safety management, especially the warbird industry. So who knows, at an open hangar day we might have a visit from the FAA. I don't know.
I'd be surprised if we don't.
Yeah, I would too. I don't think anybody's on a witch hunt or anything like that. It's just they kind of got caught with their pants down a little bit, that they were, why were you looking what these guys were doing? Well, and I think what happened, the regional director of the FAA had retired and nobody replaced him for like 5 years. So they just kind of slipped under the rug, and so they were like, oops. So, you know, knee-jerk reactions, whatever, but just go to the CAF website, look under safety, and SMS is one of the dots under it.
Actually, it's CF operations, it's the operations website.
Well, it's also under safety. It's also under safety, so it's not hard to find. Look it up and you'll be able to, and you'll read it and you'll understand it, and it's something that's, it's a hot point for the CAF from, well, forever now. Yes, sir.
I think maybe my memory is failing me, which is very possible.
Yep.
Back years ago, when we first started having air shows, I remember FAA people being here.
Yep.
And walking to the hangar and walking the flight line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not unusual.
No, and it's nothing to be fearful of. I know that one of the things that we at our earlier this year, we had our annual pilot meeting, recertification. We had the whole ground crew, we had other guests, and we talked a great deal about what happened with the B-17. And in reading some of the preliminary reports, it was like, are you kidding me? And it made me so happy that everything that we do here, the way we take care of the people, all this stuff is we're doing a good job, but just be aware that that's the mantra for the city now. So
much as I complain about headquarters, they've been ahead of the curve here. They will be, at the air show, the FAA is going to be out in force, but they are doing spot checks. They call them ramp checks. Just a normal day when we just open the doors up and maybe we've sold the ride in this chairman. Don't be surprised if somebody comes from the FAA here and wants to check pilot paperwork or maintenance paperwork for that. They, as he said, have a little egg on their face because they were supposed to be supervising. Now, being the government, we have to overreact. They're going to show by God that they're supervising.
They're not happy, they're not happy.
I worked for them for 35 years, and believe me.
Hey, quick question, Brian.
Sure.
When we do have events like that, if any one of us members are approached by the FAA, do we point them to you or Bob?
Point them to Bob.
Seriously.
No, but
Seriously.
if anybody says the letters FAA, come find me and
we
give
need
me
to
a
have
holler.
one or two people that are leading that charge.
We got nothing to hide.
Right.
But I kind of like to know who I'm not hiding it from.
Yep.
Alrighty. The one final safety thing I had, our roof, speaking of our roof, Max, works awesome. It hasn't leaked, knock on wood, in the last year. I got bruises from doing this so much. But now it's the water that we have when it rains comes underneath that west side bifold door. The plan to fix that is they're going to cut a little trench in the concrete ramp and then put a grate there so the water can't come under the door. It'll hit that trench and divert itself. If anybody knows anything about concrete work or cutting concrete or grates or things like that, please let Jim Bond know, or give me a call and I'll direct you to Jim Bond, because we're going to have to rent some kind of trencher or hire a company to cut a little 6-inch wide, 2-inch deep trench across the ramp there and then put a grate in it. And hopefully that'll solve our water problems completely. Knock on wood. Alrighty.
in theory.
In theory. What could go wrong? Education, is Janet up here?
No, she went back downstairs.
Okay, yeah, they're getting lunch ready here. We gotta move along. Development officer, one thing you don't know about, we just got a certificate from the Olathe Chamber of Commerce thanking us for support. Apparently, we've been a member since 2008.
I like your hair.
I've been a member since 1993, so top that, okay?
I appreciate you doing this.
Save some money. I was a little
13 years ago.
I apologize for that awful phone ringing there a little bit ago. You can kick me to the curb if you want to.
I know.
As development officer, I have no idea what I'm doing. So for those of you who wrote in my name on the ballot, this is what you're getting. Okay. You mentioned the Olathe Chamber, and we've been a member there apparently for a number of years. And then we rejoined the Gardner Chamber recently. and I got in connection with them and kind of got some emails straightened out, and they had a virtual coffee or meeting on the first Wednesday in March, and I attended that online, and that was all good information. And I just realized the other day that I haven't heard anything from them since. So I need to follow up again with the email transmission to see why I haven't heard anything from them. But they were eager, obviously, to get us back as members, and I think that'll be a good way for us to get some outreach into this, the Gardner community. And on the Olathe Chamber, they're planning to start their Thursday morning coffees again in June or early summer. So we have a date scheduled to host the Olathe Chamber Coffee on a Thursday morning, September 30th, here at the hangar, which we did several years ago, and we are on schedule to have it last September here, and of course that didn't happen. So we're gonna try and move forward. Also, that coffee on September 30th will be a couple of weeks before our hangar dance, which is now rescheduled for October 16th. And that Wittenborn guy back there, he can probably tell you more about that. But we thought that'd be kind of a good prelude to get the information out for the hangar dance and maybe sell a few more tickets. So we'll see about that. And then this week on the Olathe Chamber website, there was a piece on there about shuttered venue operators grant money available. So there was a link for that. I shared that with you and Linda, and just think of, and Tom, and he gave us a good financial of how much money we lost last year compared to the 2 previous years. And a lot of that was on rental and events and chimneys and weddings and different types of events. So I don't know if it's worth all the time and effort to try and get some money out of that grant available, but I think that's probably something.
It's the Small Business Administration helping small companies that were hurt in 2020.
What is the hangar dance rescheduled for again, please?
October 16th.
Thank you.
Which is the same day, it's the 3rd Saturday in October. We'll have a meeting here in the morning, and we'll be dancing downstairs at night.
And in between, we'll have a party to set up chairs and tables.
Sure.
Since she brought up the dance, John Wittenborn, do you want to go as dance committee chairman? I know it's taken long, but we got 13 months worth of announcements to make.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you, there was absolutely no coercion on my part to get Beverly to agree to whatever it is she agreed. Our dance committee met last month for the first time since all of this stuff happened. We were planning to have it last year, and obviously that didn't happen for a lot of reasons. The date, as we said, is October 16th. We'll have another meeting, I think it's this coming Tuesday, of the dance committee, and we'll have minutes to present to the executive committee on that meeting. Basically, all we did last month was reiterate what we knew and what we have already done, what we don't need to go through and do again for organizing and planning of the meeting. We've got a pretty good handle on the numbers of tables and chairs and that type of thing. We've got a really good floor plan laid out that Ron Wright has copied and made available. So we're well on our way to organizing this. We will have a silent auction as well, and I think is it Janet or Beth will handle that.
Do we have a theme? What's the theme?
Well, the theme is is it 50 years for the...
Since the meeting started? No.
For our hangar.
20 years for our hangar,
yeah. 20 years for our hangar. We'll celebrate that and be a...
Band? What band?
A type of thing. Moonlight.
Yeah, we'll have the,
Moonlight Serenade.
what I want him to say it.
Moonlight Serenade.
Yeah, the Moonlight Serenade Band will be here. General MacArthur will be here, coming up from Wichita. And we'll have some other participants as well that we'll be contacting. Yeah, Jim.
So Moonlight Serenaders, is it still BYOB? We can bring our own, what would we have?
Yep, bring your own bottles. We'll provide the setups, the ice, and that type of thing for donation. And you can bring whatever food you want as well. So it'll be pretty much similar to the same themes that we've had in previous years that we've done this, with very little change. We've kept it that way because people know about it. And so rather than change the venue,
Hopefully you don't have a storm come up then.
Although we got a really good picture that John English took of the lightning over the hangar, that was
So, if there are no questions, that's up to date on what we're doing. This coming meeting will fine tune some of these things about reservations, whether we want to have tickets or not, how we're going to handle the reservations, how we're going to handle the seating requests and that type of thing. We'll handle some of those logistics as well. Try to make a decision on how to do that this coming Tuesday.
We will need volunteer help for the dance, so what is it, 7 o'clock Tuesday night?
7 o'clock Tuesday night.
If you guys want to come out and just listen or offer to help out or something.
Yeah, and you can participate. We're open to any kind of suggestions that you might have, anything from your background, your expertise.
How to run a silent auction or things to donate. We'll need donations for the silent auction coming up, so look for more information.
Absolutely. Yep.
Alrighty.
Good to see you too, Max.
Now, I know everyone's hasn't been out here for about a year, and you probably think the museum looks different. It's not just because you've forgotten. It's because our museum curator has been hard at work.
Well, I don't know about hard, maybe hardly working, but I'll be quick because I know it's getting late. Just a couple things that I'm working on. Coming up the stairs, you'll see I'm doing, there's a SAC exhibit that's going up. It will have all the SAC aircraft that flew. I'm gonna get some pictures of gotta have General May. Gotta have him. So, because that now is, that's in the 50s and 60s. We're getting on where we need to remember those guys as well. So that's happening. That's right. You'll see the Olathe wall here is still in progress, but it's getting there. It's almost there. The board is actually from the Naval Air Station when it was in operation, and it had the Sailor of the Month on it. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I'll put, there's other pictures. I have pictures of Flatley, who, like, of World War II fame. He was the CO here for a couple of years. So I've got pictures of him. The picture, the signed picture there under the TV screen, it's actually Buddy Rogers, great, well-known actor in the 40s, and a guy named Ernie Miller. I live across from Ernie Miller Park and never knew who he was. He was an Olathe journalist who just absolutely loved Olathe. So that picture is signed by Buddy Rogers to Ernie Miller. And he came through, Buddy Rogers came through Olathe. He's like, oh, I love Olathe, I was born here. So it was kind of cool. And then over here, I'm going to continue the history of the CAF, both our local wing and the national organization. So if any of you have old stuff, bring it in, because I want to display that and tell the story of the CAF. And then other than that, just slowly but surely, I don't want to make massive changes all at once, but just little bits at a time, just changing things up. It's amazing how even if you just rearrange things, people go, wow, that's brand new. No, it's just moved. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to just shift some things, but that's what I'm doing.
Looking great.
Also, I want to mention this beautiful model of the shooting helicopter above our Vietnam display that Darren took his time and effort to rebuild from basically a piece of plastic parts a lot.
Why, thank you.
Very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you. Oh, and Baylor Bears are national champions in men's basketball. Thank you very much.
Who beat him?
Then I'll get all the way around. Thank you, Darren. Anyone else have any announcements, or Jeff?
Two quick things. I know May 15th is a busy day. I'm in charge of our Kansas City Military Collectors Club buy-sell trade show at the American Legion at 65th and Neiman. I'll leave some flyers around. $5 admission. If you've got a few things you want to try to get rid of, buy, sell, trade, it's open for that. We'll have we've got about 40 tables of military items that'll be on display. So we've got that going on.
What's the time, Jeff?
It'll be 8 to 3.
What day?
That's Saturday, May 15th. So you can drop by that early in the morning, come out here and go to the show or whatever later on that day.
For a meeting.
And then also the Military Vehicle Preservation Association will be down at the World War I Museum and Memorial Saturday and Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. So a lot of good vintage vehicles down there then.
Did you want to talk about the red ball?
No, that's not.
Okay. Anything else going on?
I'll talk to you about it.
Joe?
Union Station has, going to have an exhibit on Auschwitz. Coming up, so all interested in going to that. I just got the thing on Facebook about it, so.
Do you know when that starts?
There's no tickets now, so it's probably starting in May.
June.
A few months.
Supposed to start in June.
June, down at Union Station.
Union Station, yeah.
Anything else coming up that might be of interest to people, or? No. Lunch is coming up. Downstairs, I don't know how chilly it is. Oh, Jack, go ahead.
Don't forget, if you want to order a name tag, come back and see me. Please print carefully.
As he sees it.
And make it legible.
Okay, Jack's in the back if you want a name tag. Lunch is downstairs. I'm not sure how chilly it is still down there, but you might want to grab it and bring it back up here. Please be careful. The carpet's been fairly clean for over a year now. Don't be the one. Other than that, I guess it's time to go eat and socialize.